can't be autistic. Your communication and people skills are too good. Has anyone ever said that to you? Have you ever had anyone doubt the diagnosis of autism in your life? If so, how did that make you feel? Perhaps you felt angry. Angry because what the person didn't recognize is the amount of effort that is involved in appearing normal. If this resonates with you, it's possible that you are using masking as a tool to fit in. Now, masking can be extremely useful. It does have its benefits, but it also comes with a great cost. And so in the next few minutes, I'm going to unpack why we mask, what are the benefits of masking, and also some ways of managing the associated stress. I'm Linda Phillips, founder of Autism Route Map, and I help people who want to improve their communication, people skills, and emotional well-being. I help you to gain clarity by identifying those blind spots which are stopping you from reaching your potential. And together we build the skills that you need to live your best life. So what are the benefits of masking? Let's think about the workplace to start with. Masking may be necessary in the workplace, and there is a degree to which we all mask at work. We dress according to the dress code. We show up at the expected time. And we do this because we need to meet the expectations of the people who employ us and the people who we work with. When it comes to relationships with your colleagues, there is usually more distance in those relationships than there is with family members or friends. And what that means is you won't necessarily know if your colleagues have your back should they know everything about you. So masking in that situation can be an effective way of creating some emotional security, of keeping oneself safe. The other place where masking can be very useful is when we are meeting people for the first time. So first impressions count. So when we meet people for the first time, we want to show our best selves. We don't want to show them everything that is less likable about ourselves. We want to give them time to get comfortable with us, and once they know us, then we can show them all of ourselves. And so masking can be useful in the early stages of a relationship because it allows that relationship to build without there being any barriers in place. So this is why we mask, but what are the costs? Masking certainly does come with costs, and it can be extremely exhausting. And if it is done over a prolonged period of time, it can lead to burnout. Your battery can simply run out. So there can be a very significant cost that goes with masking. Now, some people will decide that they're not going to mask, and they find that very liberating. But it isn't an option for everyone. So if there are times when you need to mask or when you do mask, then it's important that you have strategies in place that enable you to manage the inevitable stress that comes with masking. So the first thing is to manage your schedule. Don't put too many things that are social in nature all in one place. Space them out so that there are gaps between social events. If you have friends or family coming to stay, make sure that you get somebody to take them out for the day so that you have time to decompress. It's really important that there are gaps in your schedule so that you can rest. The second thing is to get comfortable with saying no. Just because coffee mornings and drinks evenings are a fun way for some people to relax, doesn't mean that it automatically applies to you. So if this is happening in the workplace, if your line manager or boss is aware of your diagnosis, have a conversation with them. Tell them that you appreciate the events, but you find them really tiring and draining. Tell them that you will go to some of them, or you will go to none of them, or you will go but only for a short amount of time. This way, your boss has an understanding rather than reaching negative assumptions, which is what tends to happen otherwise. The third thing is to make sure that you rest. Rest is an absolutely essential remedy for exhaustion, so you may need more time to sleep. Also, you may need to find ways that enable you to recharge your batteries, and that's different for everybody. It may be exercise or music or taking a walk in nature, but whatever it is, it's important for you to have time to rejuvenate. Now, one thing we don't often do when it comes to rest is schedule it in, but I strongly suggest that you actually work it into your calendar. You make sure that it is there so that you have time to rest and recuperate. The next thing that is quite helpful is to deflect the focus from yourself. So because we are more likely to mask when there's a lot of social pressure, there are ways that you can go about reducing that social pressure and therefore not having to put so much energy into masking. So if you are going to a social event, one thing you can do, if it's appropriate, is to give yourself a role. So if it is someone you know, offer to help with preparation of food or serving food or clearing up, because having a role reduces the need to be having conversations with people. The other thing that you can do is, if you're going to an outdoor event and it's again appropriate, if you have a dog, take a dog with you, and that way again the focus can be on the dog. There is something to talk about, something that shifts the focus from you elsewhere. Another way to do that is to suggest doing things like going for a walk or playing games, because again that gives you something to do rather than the focus being solely on conversation, where there will be a greater perceived need to mask. The other thing that I strongly suggest is that you find groups where you can be completely yourself. It's important for all of us to feel completely accepted as we are. And there are quite a lot of groups that are specifically for neurodiverse people. These happen in person, or some of them are on Facebook. So find these groups. It's a place where you can ask questions. It's a place where you can be yourself. It's a place where you're likely to find other people who experience very similar situations to yourself, and that can be very reassuring. So masking is a tool and it has its place, but like all tools, it should be used when necessary, not all the time. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please consider sharing it with friends so that they can also hear the message. And if you would like to know what we do at Autism Route Map, then feel free to drop me an email or come and visit us at the website www.autismroutemap.com.